Hello and welcome to Shiv Jyoti Educational Group Kota. This is Barkha Gaur, your biology teacher. So students, today we are going to start chapter 19 of your biology, that is excretory products and their elimination. Children, as we are studying about the human physiology, so this is another topic, rather another chapter which is related to the excretory system, in which excretory products are produced and they are eliminated from the body. So, how it is done we will study in this chapter. All of you open your book, page number 290 for proper understanding. Children, when we are talking about excretion, in general what is the meaning of excretion or how can we define the excretion? That means removal of waste products which are produced in the body as a result of different metabolic reactions. So, whatever waste is being produced, it is eliminated. Why it is eliminated? Because if it is accumulated in the body, it is harmful. So, excretion is also very important life process or a physiological activity. So, different animals produce different kinds of waste and this waste is basically nitrogenous waste. Nitrogenous waste kya hai? Because the compounds contain nitrogen like urea, ammonia, uric acid, all of these. So, animals accumulate different kinds of waste products like ammonia, urea, uric acid, carbon dioxide, water and ions like sodium, potassium, chloride, phosphate, sulfate, etc. So, these are the waste products which are produced and they are accumulated in the body either by metabolic activities or by other means like excess ingestion. So, these substances have to be removed totally or partially. So, in this chapter we are going to understand the mechanism of elimination of these substances and how they are eliminated. So, we will understand about it. Now, the main excretory products, as I told you, ammonia, urea and uric acid are the major forms of nitrogenous waste which are produced by different kinds of animals. इनमें से most toxic जो होता है वो ammonia होता है and for the elimination of this ammonia a large amount of water is required, whereas uric acid is least toxic. ठीक है, तो urea is moderate toxic and ammonia is the most toxic. So, for the removal of uric acid a minimum amount of water is required. The process of excreting ammonia is called ammonotelism. So, whatever is the excretory product, according to that the process is being named. So, ammonotelism is the process of excreting ammonia. For example, what are the animals in which this process ammonotelism is taking place? It is fishes and aquatic amphibians also and aquatic insects. All these animals are ammonotelic, that is ammonia is being produced in them. The ammonia is soluble, readily soluble and it is diffused out across the membrane, jaise through gill surfaces in fishes in the form of ammonium ions. Kidney does not play any important role in this. Then terrestrial adaptation की बात करें हम, the animals which are adapted to terrestrial life, the production of lesser toxic substances produced in them like uric acid, urea and uric acid. ठीक है, the urea and uric acid is produced in them. For example, mammals, many terrestrial amphibians and marine fishes mainly excrete urea. So, the animals which excrete urea are called ureotelic. तो यूरिया एक्सक्रीट करने वाले एनिमल्स कहलाते हैं यूरियोटेलिक. तो mammals, for example, mammals and many terrestrial amphibians and marine fishes excrete urea. So, they are called ureotelic. Okay. Then ammonia produced by metabolism is converted into urea in the liver of these animals and released into the blood, which is filtered and excreted out by the kidneys. So, kidney has here an important role. Some amount of urea may be retained in the kidney matrix also to maintain a desired osmolarity. Osmolarity means the balance of salt and water. Then the third category is uricotelic animals, in which reptiles, birds and land snails, insects, they excrete their nitrogenous waste in the form of pellet or paste with a minimum loss of water. So, examples क्या हैं इनके? Reptiles, birds, land snails and insects. So this is the uricotelic animals. Then we will talk about human excretory system. Before we start the human excretory system, we will also understand about the different kinds of excretory organs in various organisms. तो हम ये देखेंगे कि different organisms में भी कौन कौन से excretory organs हो सकते हैं. उसके बाद we will understand about the human excretory system. तो different varieties of animals, for example जैसे invertebrates हैं, तो they have complex tubular organs called kidneys. They may have kidneys and some of these structures are mentioned here. For example, protonephridia or flame cells है ना, ये underline कर लेना बच्चों, it's very important. Protonephridia or flame cells are the excretory structures in platyhelminthes. The worms जो होते हैं flat worms में protonephridia या flame cells are present. For example, planaria and rotifers, some annelids and the cephalochordate like Amphioxus. Then protonephridia are primarily concerned with ionic and fluid volume, that means osmoregulation भी ये करते हैं. Nephridia are the tubular excretory structures of earthworm. Now we come to some higher animal, जैसे earthworm है तो उसमें nephridia है, ऐसे ही other annelids में भी nephridia are the excretory organs which help to remove nitrogenous waste and maintain osmoregulation. Osmolarity भी maintain करते हैं जिसको हम fluid and ionic balance कहते हैं. Then insects में Malpighian tubules are there. Insects have the excretory organs as Malpighian tubules जैसे कि cockroaches पे, ठीक है. It also help in the removal of nitrogenous waste and osmoregulation. Antennal glands or green glands also perform the excretory function in crustaceans like prawns. So these are the different excretory organs in different kinds of animals. Now we will start with the human excretory system. So children, you are little bit familiar with this already. In the previous classes we have also understood, in 10th class also we have learned about it, ठीक है. So we will start with the diagram, explanation of diagram. The human excretory system consists of a pair of kidneys, ठीक है, left and right side में pair of kidney is there, then a pair of ureters, ureter is there, then urinary bladder in which urine is stored and urethra ke through the urine is passed out of the body. So children, the excretory system consists of a pair of kidneys, a pair of ureters, a urinary bladder and a urethra. तो ये तो हुए और इसके parts की बात. Then they are reddish brown, morphologically means what is their appearance, reddish brown bean shaped structure situated between the levels of last thoracic and थर्ड लंबर वर्टिब्रा. तो हम वर्टिब्रल कॉलम के रेफरेंस में अगर देखें तो लास्ट थोरेसिक वर्टिब्रा एंड थर्ड लंबर वर्टिब्रा के बीच में ये प्रेजेंट है. टू द डॉर्सल इनर वॉल ऑफ द एब्डोमिनल कैविटी, ठीक है. थोड़ा ये बॉडी के हमारे डॉर्सल साइड, थोड़ा बैक साइड में सिचुएटेड रहते हैं. साइज के देखें तो ईच किडनी ऑफ एन ह्यूमन मेजर्स अबाउट 10 to 12 सेंटीमीटर इन लेंथ, 5 to 7 सेंटीमीटर इन विड्थ and 2 to 3 centimeter in thickness, and its average weight is 120 gram to 170 grams. So this is about the kidney. Now we'll study the different parts also. Towards the center of the inner concave surface of the kidney. अब यहाँ पे देखें ये concave part है इसका, तो here this part is called hilum, ठीक है, जो जहाँ पे एक notch जैसा बन रहा है, जहाँ पे ऐसे ureters, sorry, ये जो blood vessels है, they are coming inside the kidney. So this is called hilum. So this is one of the part through which ureter, blood vessels and nerves are entering into the kidney. Then inner to hilum, you can see this region. This is called pelvis, renal pelvis, a broad funnel shaped space called renal pelvis with projections called calyces. तो ये projections हैं, these are called calyces. The outer layer of the kidney is a tough capsule. Inside the kidney, two zones में हमने kidney को divide किया हुआ है. One is cortex, जो outer है cortex and inner is medulla. So two parts, two zones are there, outer cortex and inner medulla. Then medulla is again divided into conical masses जिनको medullary pyramids कहते हैं, ठीक है. तो you should remember all the parts of the structure. Medullary pyramids हैं ये, these black स्ट्रक्चर जो आपको दिख रहे हैं ये मेडुलरी पिरामिड्स है. projecting into the calycis. The cortex extends between the medullary pyramids as renal columns, and those columns are called columns of Bertini. We will call them as column of Bertini. We can refer to figure 19.2 for this, columns of Bertini. Now, each kidney has nearly 1 million complex structures. देखो किडनी पूरा ओवरऑल हम अगर किडनी को देखें तो इट इज परफॉर्मिंग द फंक्शन ऑफ रिमूवल ऑफ वेस्ट, बट एक्चुअली द फंक्शनल यूनिट ऑफ किडनी इज नेफ्रॉन. ठीक है, तो देर आर अराउंड 1 मिलियन कॉम्प्लेक्स ट्यूबुलर स्ट्रक्चर्स कॉल्ड नेफ्रॉन, और जो पूरा काम कर रहा है किडनी में, वर्किंग जो पार्ट है वो क्या है, नेफ्रॉन है. तो दीज आर ऑल्सो कॉल्ड द फंक्शनल यूनिट्स ऑफ किडनी. नाउ विल लर्न द डिटेल स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ नेफ्रॉन. तो यू कैन सी हियर द क्रॉस सेक्शन ऑफ किडनी ऑल्सो, विच वी इसको हमने शॉर्ट में वहाँ पिछले डायग्राम में देखा था. नाउ सी, दिस इज द कॉर्टेक्स पार्ट ऑफ द किडनी which contain, these are the renal columns, these are the medullary pyramids है ये. ठीक है, this is the renal pelvis and और front का part कहलाएगा calyx, renal pelvis and calyx. These are the renal vein, renal artery which bring the blood, impure blood and carry away the filtered blood. This is the ureter, ठीक है, which is passing out, which is going out from the kidney. Now we will learn about the structure of nephron. Each nephron has two parts, the glomerulus and the renal tubule. We will refer to the diagram given on page number 292, figure 19.3, है ना. We will be referring this diagram. तो glomerulus and renal tubules में ये divided है nephron. Now glomerulus is a tuft of capillaries. एक पूरा नर्व्स का, कैपिलरीज का बंच है, गुच्छा है, formed by the efferent arteriole which is a fine branch of renal artery. Blood from the glomerulus is carried away by the efferent arteriole. So there are two, efferent and efferent. Efferent, from this blood is going away from the kidney. Then the renal tubule, ठीक है, एक तो हमने बात की glomerulus की, which is made up of tuft of capillaries. Now the second part is renal tubule. It begins with a double walled cup like structure called Bowman's capsule. ठीक है, तो it is starting with the Bowman's capsule, cup like structure, जिसके अंदर present है glomerulus, a tuft of capillaries. तो glomerulus along with the Bowman's capsule दोनों मिलाकर कहते हैं उसको Malpighian body और renal capsule. तो we have seen कि nephron has two parts, glomerulus and renal tubule. Glomerulus has a tuft of capillaries and it contains Bowman's capsule. The renal tubule जहाँ से शुरू हो रही है, that is the Bowman's capsule which encloses the glomerulus also. The tubule continues further to form highly coiled tube network है जिसको हम proximal convoluted tubule कहते हैं. तो let's see further. We'll refer the diagram which I explained you. So this is the diagram of nephron in which glomerulus is shown and renal tubule is also shown. So you have to practice this diagram properly. Just see that this is efferent arteriole, this is bringing the blood into the glomerulus, and this is efferent arteriole which is taking the blood away from the glomerulus. This is glomerulus which is the tuft of capillaries. Here what will happen? Here the filtration work will take place. Then this is the cup like structure called Bowman's capsule. Now from here tubule is starting. This is, you can see from here we are starting proximal convoluted tubule. Okay, this is what? Proximal convoluted tubule. This part is Henle's loop. You can see here it is Henle's loop. Now proximal convoluted tubule, Henle's loop, and then this is distal convoluted tubule. तो जो tubule part है वो 3 parts में divided है. It is proximal convoluted tubule, हम इसको P, C, T से भी बता सकते हैं, and distal convoluted tubule which is going into the collecting duct. अब क्या होता है, जो there are millions of nephrons in the kidney, तो all the nephrons उन सबके जो distal convoluted tubule है they are opening in the collecting duct. ठीक है, तो आफ्टर फिल्ट्रेशन, जब फिल्ट्रेशन हो जाता है, द वेस्ट इज सेंट थ्रू द DCT इनटू द कलेक्टिंग डक्ट. नाउ तो ये तो हुआ हेनलेस लूप की बात करते हैं. तो हेनलेस लूप इज अगेन डिवाइडेड इनटू टू लूप्स. वन इज डिसेंडिंग लूप विच इज कमिंग डाउनवर्ड्स, द डिसेंडिंग लूप ऑफ हेनले, एंड विच इज गोइंग अपवर्ड्स दिस साइड, इट इज द असेंडिंग लूप ऑफ हेनले. तो ascending limb or loop of Henle. So these two loops are there. Henle's loop के ये दो loops हैं. Then you can also see the vasa recta. अब tuft of, अब एक कह सकते हैं capillary जो है it is winding this tubule को wind up कर रही है. तो इसका क्या function है, this also we'll see. And collecting tube duct में when the waste is collected in the duct, it will lead to the, it will go to the ureters, then into urethra. Now we'll see the different parts of this nephron. Here you can see the Henle's loop is the next part of the tubule, है ना. अभी हमने क्या क्या देखा, one we saw glomerulus and then we saw about the renal tubule. The third part of it is Henle's loop. When we talk about Henle's loop, as I told you, it is the next part of the tubule which has a descending and ascending limb. ठीक है, ये मार्क करते जाएंगे. You should learn these points. The ascending limb continues as another highly coiled tubular region called distal convoluted tubule. So two parts हो गए इसके. ठीक है, DCTs of many nephrons open into a straight tube called collecting duct. अभी जैसे मैंने बताया था, all the DCTs will get into the collecting duct. Now the Malpighian corpuscles की बात करते हैं. The PCT, Malpighian corpuscles and DCT of the nephron are situated in the cortical region of the kidney. As I told you earlier, the kidney has two parts, outer cortical and inner medulla. तो जितने भी nephrons हैं, all those nephrons का Malpighian corpuscles, PCT and DCT, up till here they are in the cortical region of the kidney. Whereas जो loop of Henle है, जो extending part है nephron का, it is dipping into the medulla. ठीक है, तो this is the general structure कि इस तरह से these parts, Malpighian corpuscles, PCT and DCT remains in the cortex region and loop of Henle is going into the medulla region. But some of the nephrons, in majority of the nephrons, the loop of Henle is too short. अधिकतर छोटा ही होता है and it remains in the cortical region only and extends only very little into the medulla. बहुत कम medulla में आ पाता है. तो such nephrons which are retained in the cortical region are called cortical nephrons. ठीक है, तो on the basis of their part which is going into the medulla or not. अगर medulla तक वो part पहुँच रहा है तो those will be called medullary nephrons, and if it is retained in the cortical region only, so they will be called as cortical nephrons. So most of the loop of Henle are short and they are called cortical nephrons. Here you can see this is the glomerulus, tuft of capillaries, and this cup shaped, ये पूरा cup shaped है, this is Bowman's capsule, this is efferent arteriole which is taking away the blood, and efferent arteriole brings the blood. And from here proximal convoluted tubule is extending. So this is the enlarged view of nephron. Next we see the efferent arteriole emerging from the glomerulus forms a fine capillary network around the renal tubule called peritubular capillaries. ठीक है, तो this is also formed. A minute vessel of this network runs parallel to the Henle's loop forming a U-shaped called vasa recta. So this is also very important. The efferent arteriole emerging from the glomerulus forming a capillary network around the renal tubule called the peritubular capillaries. तो इससे क्या बनता है? U-shaped vasa recta. Vasa recta is helpful in reabsorption ठीक है, इट इज एब्सेंट और हाईली रिड्यूस्ड इन कॉर्टिकल नेफ्रॉन्स। तो कॉर्टिकल नेफ्रॉन्स में तो ये नहीं होंगी, बट मेड्यूलरी नेफ्रॉन्स में दिस वासा रेक्टा इज प्रेजेंट एंड इट इज used for reabsorption, which we will see later on. Now the next topic is how urine is formed. So we will study about urine formation. Urine formation, ये जो पूरा process है, it is divided into 3 steps कह सकते हैं. It is divided into 3 steps. First step is glomerular filtration. ठीक है, सबसे पहले क्या होगा? Glomerular filtration. Second, reabsorption and then secretion. So first of all, the blood which is coming into the kidney will be filtered by ultrafiltration या glomerular filtration होगा. Then the excess amount में जो बहुत सारे हमारे body के useful substance which could be eliminated, वो भी eliminate हो जाते हैं, तो उनका reabsorption होता है. Then the waste is excreted out and that part is called secretion. तो different parts, ये तीनों जो steps है, they will take part in different parts of the nephron. So we'll study about the first step of the urine formation. This is the filtration of blood, which is carried out by the glomerulus. तो glomerulus में क्या था? एक tuft of capillaries थी जो squeeze होकर blood को filter करती हैं. तो through them, through the tuft of capillaries, the blood is filtered. So that filtration is called glomerular filtration because it is taking place in glomerulus. On an average, 1000 to 1200 milliliter of blood is being filtered per minute, which constitute roughly 1/5 of the blood pumped out by each ventricle. तो जितना भी blood pump हुआ है उसका 1/5 part जो है वो kidney filter कर लेती है. The glomerular capillary blood pressure causes, as the blood pressure is high in the glomerulus, तो it causes filtration. High pressure होने की वजह से filtration होता है. Now there are 3 layers through which filtration take place. 3 layers में से filtration होगा. What are those 3 layers? It is also very important था, mark कर लीजिए. The endothelium of glomerular blood vessels, this is the first layer. The epithelium of the Bowman's capsule, this is the, देखो as we see in this figure 19.4, ठीक है. तो all the 3 layers are visible in it. एक तो glomerulus की layer, then इसकी Bowman's capsule की layer and there is a basement membrane between these 2 layers. तो 3 layers हो गई, but still these 3 layers are present, but still they are easily, मतलब वो filtration में help कर रहे हैं. There is no problem in filtration. तो epithelial cells of Bowman's capsule called podocytes are arranged in an intricate manner so as to leave space, minute space उसमें रह जाती है, which is called filtration slits or slit pores. तो blood is filtered finely through these pores and almost all the constituent of the plasma except the proteins pass out into the lumen of the Bowman's capsule. तो सिर्फ प्लाज्मा को छोड़कर, कुछ चीजें छोड़कर, all is coming into the lumen of Bowman's capsule. Therefore, इतना finely ये filtration होता है, that's why it is called ultra filtration. So this is the first step of urine formation. Second step we will see, that is before that we will see the what is glomerular filtration rate. So we will understand about what is GFR. Actually GFR is the glomerular filtration rate. That means किस rate से, किस speed से filtration हो रहा है. The amount of filtrate formed by the kidneys per minute is called GFR, glomerular filtration rate. In a healthy individual, it is about 150 milliliter per minute. ठीक है, तो GFR in a healthy individual is approximately 125 ml per minute, that is 180 liters per day. तो this amount seems to be very, बहुत ज़्यादा amount है ये. The kidneys have built-in mechanism for the regulation of glomerular filtration rate. That means हमारे body में, हमारे kidney में ही ऐसा built-in mechanism है जो इस amount को control करेगा depending on the requirement of the body. One such efficient mechanism is carried out by juxtaglomerular apparatus. तो ये बहुत important चीज़ है बच्चों, juxtaglomerular apparatus. This maintains the amount of GFR. कैसे? देखो, it has a special sensitive region formed by सेल्यूलर मॉडिफिकेशंस इन द डिस्टल कन्वोल्यूटेड ट्यूब्यूल। तो DCT में कुछ ऐसे चेंजेस होंगे एंड द एफरेंट आर्ट्रियोल एट द लोकेशन ऑफ देयर कॉन्टैक्ट। तो देयर इज सम मैकेनिज्म जहाँ पे से ये कंट्रोल होगा, एक सेंसिटिव रीजन है जहाँ पे पता लग जाता है। तो इफ देयर इज अ फॉल इन GFR तो इट विल एक्टिवेट द JG सेल्स। जैसे ही GFR दैट इज ग्लोमेरुलर फिल्ट्रेशन रेट में फॉल होगा, कम हो जाएगा, तो ये JG सेल्स को, JG क्या है, जक्स्टा ग्लोमेरुलर सेल्स को it will activate to release this enzyme which is called as renin। तो आप इसको याद रखेंगे, renin enzyme is released if there is a fall in GFR। It will stimulate the glomerular blood flow and thereby the GFR back to normal। तो GFR जो कम हो गया था उसको नॉर्मल पोजीशन पे ले आएगा। The second part is reabsorption। Reabsorption में as I told you too much amount of filtrate is being released। तो लेकिन जो हमारा अमाउंट ऑफ यूरिन है वो रिलीज होता है 1.5 लीटर्स अबाउट, बट जो फिल्ट्रेट बना वो 180 लीटर्स था। दैट मीन्स स्टिल इट कंटेन्स मेनी यूजफुल प्रोडक्ट्स विच आर टू बी रीएब्सॉर्ब्ड। तो अभी हमने वासा रेक्टा की बात की थी, तो इट विल हेल्प इन रीएब्सॉर्प्शन। तो 99% ऑफ द फिल्ट्रेट हैज टू बी रीएब्सॉर्ब्ड by the renal tubule। This is called reabsorption। Otherwise क्या होगा, too much excess of water and useful substances will be released from the body। For example, substances ये mark कर लीजिएगा, glucose, amino acid, sodium etc. in the filtrate are reabsorbed actively। इनका reabsorption होता है by active or passive transport। तो reabsorption of water also occurs passively in the initial segments of the nephron। And the last part is secretion। So during urine formation the tubular cells secrete substances like hydrogen ions, potassium ions and ammonia into the filtrate। तो ये इनको उसमें डाल देते हैं, tubular secretion है ये ना। तो it is also an important step in urine formation which is the last step and it helps in the maintenance of ionic and acid base balance। तो ये osmoregulation में भी help करता है और यूरिन का एसिड बेस बैलेंस को भी मेंटेन करता है।